Hebrew Vision Live. Hallelujah. You're listening to Hebrew Vision Live. I'm Mikhail Corbin Yahoo, your host. As usual, we're going to open up with prayer, and then we're going to get right into our show this evening. So please, let's enter into a spirit of prayer. Hallelujah. Yitkadal vayitkadesh shemei rabah. Be'amadi barakiroteh vayimelich malkuteh. V'chayechunu v'yamichunu v'chayeda kol beit Yisrael. Bagalav vizman kari v'miru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabah mavorach le'olam ud me'almaya. Yit barak vayishtabach v'yipa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yidaleh v'yit halal shemei l'kudishah berechu. Le'ela min kol barakata v'ashirata tush bechata v'nechmata damiran ba'alma v'miru. Amen. Magnified and sanctified may his great name be in the world he created by his will. May he establish his kingdom in your lifetime and in your days and in the lifetime of all the house of Israel, swiftly and soon, and let us say amen. May his great name be blessed forever in all time. Blessed and praised, esteemed and exalted, raised and honored, uplifted and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed be he beyond any blessing, song, praise, and consolation uttered in the world. And let us say amen. Hallelujah. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you all to our live broadcast this evening. We're here Up to good in the hood with my man LaVance Meeks. Peace and blessings, my brother. How you doing?
What's good, my man? How you living, cuz?
Oh, man, I'm cooling. Thanks for coming and being on this podcast with us this evening, man. We're gonna...
Man, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Definitely. We're gonna get into several things, man. Just really talk about what you've been up to, man, and your development, growth, manhood, all that good stuff. What's going on in Kansas City, Kansas. But let's let our listeners know, who LaVance Meeks is first and foremost. Just give us your background, man.
LaVance Meeks Jr., 24 years old, turning 25 next week. For those that want to give me a birthday gift, I'm not mad at you. Just look me up on Facebook. Born and raised Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County. And, man, I'm just out here trying to do my part, man. Just out here trying to do my part and make my community that much better, my man. It ain't much to it besides that.
Yeah, no doubt. So growing up in Kansas City, a lot of people got the stereotype of being like country, it's all farm and stuff, Dorothy, Toto, I've gotten that all. What's going on in Kansas City? And just, from your generation, when you growing up, what did you see? What were you exposed to growing up, man?
Man, I kind of wish it was like, the Wizard of Oz type stuff, man. I mean, just lack the tornadoes, but it was much different from what people perceive it to be. I mean, you have, where I was raised, it was more of a calmer neighborhood. Okay. And then when I got older, I moved to more of the hood, man. So where you would be hearing gunshots and stuff. And I never knew that type of stuff existed because I was more sheltered up on 62nd Street. Next thing I know, I moved to 28th, and I'm like, oh, man, this ain't the Kansas City I'm used to, man. You know how it's crazy when you were, because I was in private school. Okay. So, man, that was always just like you safe in that little box. But as soon as that little box open and you get to see reality, you see Kansas City man, it ain't as perfect as I gave it credit for it first.
I see. So it was kind of a culture shock for you, is what you're saying?
Oh, man, it was definitely a culture shock. As soon as I left V. Lindsay in 5th grade, V. Lindsay at private school, went to 6th grade at Coronado, man, I tell people, it was like being tossed in the lion's den, man. Wow. Like, it was just people cussing, people fighting, people looking at me crazy, and I don't even begin to know how to respond. I'm like,
really?
Man, I don't know what to do out here, man. It was crazy. Culture shock is easy, man. I was traumatized.
It was trauma. Like, what the
trauma-informed care.
That's crazy, man. So with your private school upbringing, though, I mean, what foundations, in comparing and contrasting to public school, what foundations do you feel you received from private school that other youth that you into public school with didn't receive?
Man, it was much more one-on-ones. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That teacher knew you. That teacher knew your parents. I mean, with it being private school, your parents is usually much more involved as well. I mean, and it was just a much better education for us because it's 6 to a classroom, it's 10 to a classroom. Mm-hmm. I mentor in the schools now, and specifically when I go to my elementary schools, it'll be 25 kids to one teacher. Wow, it'll be 30 to 1, and out of those 30, 5 of them are SPED, 7 of them are ESL, like English as second language, so they don't speak English. So she's trying to control these kids, teach these kids English, and teach these other kids math. And it's just like, man, if a parent doesn't even begin to do their part, that kid is already starting off lacking.
My goodness. So, going to V. Lindsay, though, who is V. Lindsay, first and foremost? I think that this is an important topic to really, to breach and everything, to bring to the forefront. Kansas City may not even know about V. Lindsay School. So talk about a little bit of that background.
V. Lindsay is just a 7-day Adventist private school down here. They from, I believe, preschool to 8th grade. Okay. They offer like 33rd and parallel. Okay. And once again, it's just a really small school, man. I mean, some of the classes are combined because it's so small. You'll have pre-K through with second graders. Mm-hmm. But, the teachers there, they always were really good. Like I said, they were able to give us a great education due to quality. Yeah, much more quality education in my opinion. And I mean, because it was a religious school as well, it instilled in me at an early age, the God factors, of how to trust and rely on Him, as opposed to just you out here trying to survive the best way you can. I was raised, they taught you the godly principles as opposed to just the street principles, the survival principles.
Right. That is a big difference. Like prayer in school, you know I was growing up. There was prayer in school, whippings in school. We got paddled. You know what I'm saying?
We showed it, man.
But it's like public school. They took that out. You know, and you see the effects of that in our society. And we'll get into that some more. But your transition. I mean, you talked about the culture shock. You talked about the exposure to the profanity. What positives, though? Did you experience any positives in the public setting?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I believe that it's always a positive anyway when you can just open your mindset, when you can be able to see something different. You know what I mean? Just because I was surrounded by negativity doesn't mean that was what influenced me. It was a positive because it showed me different aspects, different people, different ways that people come from and backgrounds and the ways they live. I mean, and not only that, but I mean, in public school, it also showed me teachers that really, really cared as well. Because our public school teachers do not make a lot of money at all. I mean, they get paid chump change, and they have to be security, the therapist, the parent, the social worker, the case, and they got to be everything. Like teacher is just one of the 25 things that they have to be to each of those children in that room. Yeah. So if those teachers were there, most of them were there because they legit love the kids and they trying to see this community do better.
And that's important, man, especially in this day and time. Everything's moving so fast. We're exposed to so much. But going back to your development, and I saw today on Facebook you posted a throwback picture of yourself. And you say thank goodness for like transformation, development, maturity. Talk about some of those early adolescent years, until now your early manhood and some of the things that you've had to transition with. And I know also I'm going to throw this in there, some of the photo series that one of your friends, Sister Hannah, has done about the Survivor series. Maybe even throw that element into the equation as well.
Oh, definitely. It was... with my upbringing, I definitely was a fatherless child. One of my testimony is being a survivor of the fatherless. Talk about that a little bit more. But because I was a fatherless child, my man, a lot of my stuff was just like pokes in the dark. I never had a consistent, strong male figure in the house to say, Vance, do this. Vance, that's not the way to go. No, Vance, we treat women like this. No, Vance, that's not respectful. It was always grandma and my mama. Now, praise God that they instilled that discipline and instilled that fear of God in you, and also that fear of themselves in you. Like, I bet you won't. Right. But because of that, by the time you get to school, and because of that culture shock that I had exhibited, my mother was a teacher at V. Lindsay, so I was always sheltered and close to home for those first 5 years. By the time I get out into public school, in the real world, it's like you just trying to find a way. So I'm out here I'm trying to just get in where I fit in. I'm trying to see what group I fit in best with. Do I join a gang over here? Wow. That's, when you younger people, they Bloods and Crips, and when they shake your hand, they make the little C, and they walk by you and throw a B up. I didn't even know what that was. I just thought they had a broken finger or something. I was like, bro, you playing way too many games out here. So, man, man, with the upbringing, with the picture, around that time it was in high school. Okay. Man, I was like breaking hearts left and right when I was getting with girls. I had no intentions of doing any type of good with them, man. I had no intentions of my grades dropped dramatically. I was an honor roll straight A student in V. Lindsay, and I continued that to about middle school. By the time I got to high school, I was like, doing work wasn't cool no more. Right. Sleeping was better for me. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, turning in this paper is pointless. I'll do it on a bus. I was literally doing homework while I'm getting on the bus stop. Bro, I was cheating. So it just was, at that point in time, and my clothes was 16X. Like, man, I could jump off a roof and use it as a parachute, man. Just use. Man, I'm telling you, man, I was looking at that shirt size. I was like, Lord have mercy. I would never wear it nowadays. And and I understand, like, thank God for transformation and growth because, man, I needed it. I needed it badly. And at that point in time, I still didn't know where I would get it from. You know what I mean? I just was, this is what I saw around me. This was Soulja Boy was doing. Somebody commented on the picture, like, you look like Soulja Boy, you. I'm like, Yeah, I mean, I kind of was trying to be like my dude, man. I mean, he was rich. Like, shoot. I mean, I was broke. He rich. I mean, I'm just trying to get in where I fit in somewhere. Yeah. So, you know, it was good. It was kind of funny just me looking back on that to see, like, man, you would never wear that nowadays. You don't even like hats no more. What was the do-rag for? You didn't even have waves, man. Like, what
style?
Do you chain? Like, what's going on, man?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So you talked about, and I think this is something particularly for our brothers, our youth, and it happens at that crossroads at adolescence all the time. I can say the same thing with me. Grades from elementary to middle to high school. For you, for yourself, what contributed directly to your lack of interest for studies, for learning, for excelling in your education?
For some reason, I just felt it wasn't cool. Like, man, you know what? I mean, I was trying to be so socially accepted amongst my peers at that point in time, but they weren't passing neither. You know what I mean? So, like, it'll look crazy for all my homies to be passing, and then failing, and I'm the only one passing. Like, I would feel like a square. And at that point in time, that mattered. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so it was just that peer pressure of not wanting to do it, of just trying to make sure that I have somewhere to go. And also I got tired of people cheating on me. Like, people would try to cheat on my test, and I was always like, man, if I do it, you should do it too. So finally I was like, all right, well, if they not doing it, I'm not going to do it neither. Wow. So it was more, they shifted me towards theirs as opposed to me shifting them towards mine.
I see. Do you say that may have been an effect of not having that strong male figure in your life? Would you say that?
I definitely do. I mean, I definitely, not to use it as any type of excuse, but to see how, I'll be in the schools nowadays, and I'll tell the kids, like, bro, that's not the way you go about doing it. Listen, you do not want to be my age, 24, 25, working 2-3 jobs just to make $30,000 a year, because you still broke. Like, that's not no money, man. You killing yourself. Get out here, get your education, join chess club, do something to keep you out of these streets, to keep your mind engaged. Because I tell people, I'm like, I wish that I would have had that, for somebody to sit me down and be like, Vance, do better, do this. This is not okay. You worried about her. She ain't even worried about you, bro. You're not gonna know her in 5 years, bro. You're not gonna know her next year. Sit down, move around, go do something with your life, man. Like, get on these grades. I mean, I really wish that I would have had somebody to sit down. I didn't have that until my sophomore year with my math teacher. And I need tough love, man. I've never been a soft-spoken cat where you be like, oh, Vance, it's okay, and I need you. I'll be like, shut up, get out of my face, man. I need somebody to sit me down and be like, what are you doing? Bruh, get it together. Yeah, man. Do you want to repeat this class? Do you want to be here again? You know, no girl want to marry a dummy. I'll be like, really? I thought they liked dummies. Like, no, they don't want to marry no dummy.
Wow. Yeah. And that's crucial. What was your teacher's name?
His name was Paul Donovan, man. Okay. Yeah, man. Still one of the best teachers out here, man. Wow. So he crazy. We had so many things that was different. I was black. He was white. I was Christian. He was atheist. I was straight. He was gay. It was so many things that was different. Wow. But the impact that he had on my life was crazy, and I still give him tremendous credit till this day. I mean, every now and then we'll meet up for a Subway sandwich and be like, yo, man, can you check over this math for me? Can you do this math for me? He'll be like, yeah, man, I remember how you used to be. You used to be sleeping in class, man, and look at you now taking your first college course. So, you never know how far that goes to show. You never know how far them ripples go.
That's deep.
Like, in his mind, he like, I do this with everybody. But in my mind, I'm like, man, that impact that you had can be something that legit pushed me towards the greatness that I needed. Right.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. I just want to let you all know we're here with LaVance Meeks, up to good in the hood. So, we just building, talking about what's real as this young man is coming of age for himself. Just talking about some background things right now. So, let's talk about your faith, your walk of faith, and how that also may have kept you. And I'm assuming that you never really got into no dirt, like real dirt, growing up. Like, talk about what kept you from going in that direction, because I think a lot of times, you know, when our young people are presented with that, you know, they don't have many alternatives. They think this is the only alternative because that's what they may see. And I'm sure that you were exposed to that, you know, and then understanding that that's not me, number one, and then, you know, having that faith as well, because I know moms kept you, you know, rooted.
Oh man, it was multiple things, to be honest. But what kept me out of trouble in the first place wasn't even necessarily my faith. It was my father. Okay. And though I was a fatherless child, I looked at his lifestyle and some of the lifestyles that surrounded me, and I'm like, bro, I would never want to be like you. Like, I don't want to have no similarities of how you do this and of why you do this. So anything that he did, right, it kept me away from really easily. If you was this, I'm not gonna be that. If you was this, I'm not gonna be that. If your hair long, I want short. If you want it long, I'll get dreads. Like, we just complete opposite. And it was all the way until I'll never forget the day until I was 19, May 18th. Matter of fact, oh my gosh, it's crazy. May 18th. I was just looking at my Facebook memories. This day, 6 years ago, I hydroplaned. And what was crazy is I was on the phone with my brother, and my car I was speeding the whole way out to this interview. Nothing happened. On my way back, I'm actually going the speed limit. Break a little bit. Next thing I know, I'm zooming across the highway, hydroplaning across the highway. And I remember screaming on the phone to my brother, and I hit the middle plane, and I'm facing oncoming traffic, and I'm looking down, and I look up, and I see two diesels coming, one in the fast lane, one dead next to it. And I'm like, and I remember the crazy thing is my first thought was like, bro, you going to hell. Like, you going to hell. This was what you worked for. Wow. This is what you about to get. And the crazy thing is that even at that time, bro, like, my mindset was so stuck on my girlfriend at the time that I was like, yo, please, God, don't kill me. I just got her. Like,
that's all that matters.
Man, I just got her, man.
Right,
like, you know, after I thought that, like, the next thought came on, I was like, bro, you out of here, dog. Like, your mindset is so far away from God that you facing death, and he's still not in your mind, man. So, man, I put my head down and prepared for, you know, to be picked up off the side of the street, seen on the 6 o'clock news. Came, next thing I know, the diesels passed me, man. And I remember looking up, doing one of those little shimmy shakes, like, oh, man, I'm still here. Right. Jump out, and luckily for me, and unluckily for somebody else, I guess, it was patrolmen. It was an ambulance and a fire truck right across the barrier. Right. I jump across the barrier, and I'm shaking and screaming, telling them what just happened. They're like, man, what's going on? What's going on? And at that point in time, man, I got home. I drove home, and I come in the door, and I'm like, Grams, anybody here? Nobody there. And I break down, man. And at that point in time, that's when I'm like, all right, God, I got you. I'm here, and I'm ready. You done got my attention. What did Childish Gambino say? Stay woke. I'm like, I'm woke now, man, because I was on a whole nother level. Like, yes, I wasn't never getting into trouble. Right. But some people, that's crazy, because some people think that just because you don't get into trouble, you being obedient. Right. You being faithful. Like, I was in church every week, hands raised. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yeah. But as soon as that service was over, I'm sliding down, doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And y'all would never know. Y'all really trust me with y'all daughters out here. Like, oh, that's just Vance.
Right, the baby face.
You must not know.
Oh, that's not you.
This baby face get me in a lot of trouble, man.
Right.
That I love God pickup line is kind of crazy, man. Yeah. Shoot, like, so. I mean, so after that point in time, that's what ended up keeping me faithful. That's what keep me faithful now, is knowing that God is real and seeing that power and understanding that, you know what, he kept me alive. He kept breath in his lungs for a reason, man. And it's time that, you know, if you had that, man, it's time that you take it. It's time that you capitalize on that.
That's huge. And I know a lot of us can relate to that life-changing moment, that incident that really just put everything in perspective. And it's always dealing with mortality, you know what I'm saying, more times than not. That's powerful, man. So from that, well, let's go back to your pops then, too, in light of that, because you talked about, you learned from him by what not to do. Have you, to this day, bridged that relationship somewhat?
You know what? I have, man. You know, it's a tough one. My pops, I love him to death because, you know, I have to. But nah, I'm just joking. I mean, it's a tough one because he's a tough dude, man. I mean, he's been through a lot, seen a lot. So he'll call every now and then and just let me know just how proud he is and how much he cares and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, but it all depends. I tried to bridge that gap. We both tried to bridge it, but at the end of the day, it can always sometimes be a little weird because I'm grown now.
Right.
You older now. You know, it's just so many circumstances sometimes pop in. But we definitely way more cordial than we used to be. Like, man, now I'll pop up on him in his neighborhood every now and then. Well, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, you good? Like, so and that's one thing I'm really glad to see, man. It wasn't no good things coming out of just having so much hatred for that. And especially when you see some of his traits in you. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what's deep.
Like, man, I laugh just like him, man. You know what I mean? I'll look in the mirror sometimes and I'll see him, man. And I see it in my attitude at times. And I'm like, oh, man, you know, maybe I'm your son, man. Sure. I guess we don't need to take no DNA test no more. Right. But I mean, so, you know, it was something that had to be mended up on, man.
I would encourage that. You know, I'm fatherless 2 times. One, you know, my pops left when I was like 5. My mother left him due to his he was an alcoholic, and she said the moment she realized she needed to go was when someone asked me, you know, where's your pops? I'm like, oh, he probably somewhere drunk. I'm like 5 years old, you know what I'm saying? She's like, oh no, we gotta go. And so from that moment, really, we were estranged, being with each other every day to that, you know, moment just cut off. And I was 02, so I was about 22 years old, 22, 23. When he passed, you know, so he's actually deceased right now. And I always tell people who have a relationship or have their father in their life to, you know, really strive to just do what you can, you know, on your part as a son to make sure that, you know, you have that, you know, at least understanding, you know, I'm here for you, you know, I love you. You may not, you know, understand what I'm going through, but I need you, and just, you know, do whatever you can.
Definitely. Because, man, you know, it's not making excuses for anybody, but at the same time, you never know what some people have been through. Right. I was looking up statistics last night on fatherlessness, and, you know, it says how, like, crazy amounts of fatherless people are in prison, or crazy amounts of them fatherless were already fatherless previously. You know what I mean?
Cycles.
Yeah, some people, they never learned how to be responsible. Some people just weren't meant to be chain breakers, my man, and they just were. This is just who they is. I tell my kids I work with, I'm like, you can't get mad at Shaq for missing a free throw. I mean, for missing a 3-pointer. Right. He don't shoot threes. He dunks. Right. Yeah, like, man, you can't get upset with him for doing that. And I use that with my pops now. I don't get upset when he don't call me on Christmas. Like, nah, man, I didn't expect you to. What I expect from you is maybe twice a year to let me know that you love me. You know what I mean? Right. The rest of that is just making sure that, because you don't even want to begin to let that bitterness grow. And if you have that breath in your lungs, man, why not?
That's crucial. That's crucial. And I think acceptance of who people are, you know, when they show you who they are, is huge. You know what I'm saying? Especially with family.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's deep, man. That's deep. So you work with youth?
Yes. So
talk about how you see fatherlessness affecting, you know, the youth that you work with.
Man, well, I've been working with youth since I was 14, man, and I currently volunteer at Schlegel, and I'll go to Hazel Grove. But where I see it the absolute most is a group home that I work in. Work at a new group home. And, man, to see the impact that, you know, sometimes a lack of a male presence, the lack of the father in the household can have, is crazy. You know what I mean? I've heard them cry, and I've heard them scream about how I needed you and you weren't here. I needed you here, and how they're still, and now I just let men run all over me. And
these are girls.
Yeah, the girls, boys boys were, you know, they just never knew. They never learned how to do anything different. They never had no male that come up to them with that deep voice and say, son, I love you. Right. Man, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? Right. Or not even just their father, but they never had a male. Period. Yeah. And that's what I feel is important with Why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it takes a village. And you know what, my man? If your father can't do it, maybe I can do a little. Maybe I can do a little more at times.
Right.
And maybe I can do the most at times. But you know what? If you lacking, one of my old boss, Chuck Allen, he used to tell me, he used to say, man, your irresponsibility becomes somebody else's responsibility. But the crazy thing is that when nobody accepts that responsibility of showing you a better way, man, what options are you really left with besides the options that you see?
Right.
And if you growing up in these hoods and growing up in these streets, the only options that you see in this
is hopelessness.
Right? That's it. Like,
hopelessness.
Pops, it got hard, Pops bounced. That's what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. Yeah. So you never know what type of impact that has been having. Yeah. And even at Schlegel, I've cooked for the football team before, and they'll let me go in and talk to the kids.
That's what's up.
I'm like, yo, man, how many of y'all in here are fatherless? Half the room went up. Like, so many hands went up. These are black children, Hispanic children. These are our children, and their hands are going up, saying, nobody was here for me. My father wasn't here for me. And I'm looking at our next generation, and I'm like, yo, we failed, man.
Right.
Like, do y'all have anybody? Like, man, I'm glad that y'all on this football team to help keep y'all mindset on something. Y'all probably have a coach or something.
Right, outlets.
Yeah, but I'm like, man, you know, we have to do better as far as making sure that we are there for our children and make sure that we are there for the young people in our community.
You know, it's interesting you bring up Schlegel. I remember, I think it was last year, the year before last, there was a shooting that took place, and they was, you know, putting on social media, whooping and hollering and everything, and one of the students got arrested at Schlegel. Are you familiar with that story?
I don't think I know.
It was like maybe 2 years ago. I think it was not last school year, but the year before that. But it blows my mind to know that these youth are so, you know, caught up in this trap, you know, like deep in it. And you just talk about, you know, us dropping the ball with this next generation. And it goes back even to, you know, my parents' generation, really after them, but before them, because it's like, you know, our community has completely just eroded.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and the violence that's now present. And I know this is something that you have a big, you know, passion about, is really causing or just making a statement and standing up for the cause of stemming violence. Can you talk about that a little bit as far as, you know, why you decided to go about, you know, resisting that and making a statement about that?
Man, it was one moment that it's two moments that particularly stick out in my mind. Mm-hmm. One is when I was working at the Urban Scholastic Center down off of 29th. One of my kids were leaving. And next thing I know, we hear gunshots. Pow, 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 pow. And it was so close, I just knew that I was about to walk out and find my kid and the parent dead. Like, it was that close. But what was crazy was I looked at these kids, and these are 4th and 5th graders. Their faces were numb. They weren't scared. They weren't panicking. They calmly got on the floor. Turn the lights off and close the door. Meanwhile, me, you know, I'm like, oh, shoot, running around, trying to see what's going on, like, hoping they don't get in here.
Right.
But I looked at their faces, and I was like, what's going on that our kids are already numb to the fact that was almost your life? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I was like, that's not okay that our children are being this exposed and this numbed this early in life. And then the next part is my niece and nephew were born. You know what I mean? They those are my two little hearts, man. As bad as they are, and Lord have mercy, they bad. But I took Ivan with me, my nephew. I took Ivan with me to talk with the football team one day, and I was telling them about how we need to be better for each other, for the coming generation. How I need to be better, how we all need to be better. And I was like, man, see, Ivan looks up to me. He does what I do, and I show him the way. You know what I mean? And I put Ivan down, and as I continue talking and walking, Ivan is just starting to learn how to walk at this time. What I notice is that when I walk right, he walks right.
Right.
When I walk left, he walks left. And when I walk right, and I'm like, do y'all see what he's doing? And they was like, he's following you everywhere you go. And I'm like, exactly.
Man,
and I was like, that's why we need to make sure that in these neighborhoods, we changing this. Because if all we following is just the violence that's going on,
right,
then, man, before you know it, it'd be extinct out here, man, because that's all we were ever following.
Right.
And I was like, and I told them, I'm like, unless you're trying to have children with bulletproof diapers.
Right, you know
like,
what I'm saying?
Man, you know what I mean? Unless y'all trying to play y'all football games in bulletproof helmets, at some point in time, man, we gotta make a change. We gotta make this change, man.
Do you feel like, even for you growing up, music had a big influence on your behavior?
Oh, definitely, man. Like, and I think it's funny when people say that it doesn't. Like, come on, bro. Like, you not about to put no Avant on before you do a drive-by. You not about to be listening to Charlie Wilson while you loading up your gat talking about I'm about to take dude out.
Right.
Like, bro, you not about to be bumping Snoop Dogg while you trying to get intimate with your lady. It's just not happening, man. Like, no, that has an impact on your mind. When you come in and the candles are lit up, bro, you probably got on R. Kelly.
Right.
You ain't got on like Migos or whatever the case may be, man. So, but I remember one specific time I was riding with my cousin, and he had on a Lil Wayne song, and man, I remember I was avoiding all that type of music because I believed that it had an impact on my mindset. And before I know it, I was mugging the car next to me. And, bro, if y'all know me, y'all know I ain't nowhere near tough like that, man. Like, bro, I don't want no problems with you. Let's just keep it like that, man.
We cool.
Like, bro, stay in your lane. I'm definitely going to stay in mine, bro. As long as you don't cut me off in traffic, we cool, man. Yeah. And I looked and I noticed that, man, you know, I was mugging him. And I'm like, bro, you got to turn this off. If you can't turn this off, I got to get out because what this is doing to my mindset and what this is putting inside my brain. And I also noticed how easy it was to learn the lyrics to killer, 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 killer. Wow. And I'm like, man, you know, it's amazing, man. It's amazing how quickly I learned this. It takes me forever to learn the Fred Hammond song, dog. No weapon. I'm like, I don't even know what comes after that till this day. Like, but I can name every Lil Wayne song.
That's crazy.
So, man, I mean, I definitely believe that it had that impact. And the way that, you know, they continue to sell out our communities and the way that they continue to feed our kids poison, I see it firsthand nowadays. When we're walking around a group home and you'll hear the kids walking around singing this music, talking about how they messing with your girl and she is this and that, how she this and how she is that, and how they think that it's okay because somebody else is rapping it. And I'm like, bro, don't say that around me. Around Mr. LaVance, we know we don't disrespect women out here. I don't care if it is a song, bro. Don't sing that nonsense around me because it's ridiculous. But they don't realize it or they just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, but what you're putting out, it definitely is impacting the minds of these kids. And bro, it's either positively or negatively, man. It's not much no gray area. It's not no, well, I like the beat.
Right.
Then just listen to the beat, bro. but when you put in those words into your mind, man, the Bible says, you know, life and death is in the power of them tongues, man. So even if you were accidentally speaking death on a situation, bro, you'll be surprised. Like, if you ever sit back and listen to some of the lyrics, you'll be like, dang, that sounds like sin itself. That song was like, tell them try me. I get his whole family, and I ain't playing with nobody. I was like, bro, if you listen to that, I'm like, it sounds like sin, period. Like, come on, try me. Try me. I bet I get you and your whole family. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, but the perspective we listen to is like, oh, but I like the beat.
Right, and the melody, it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. That auto-tune is on point.
Right.
But, bro, what do you put into your spirit, though? Because now you just being numb to about time that even happens, man. And matter of fact, you probably going to turn back to that song when it's time for you to go do your next lick. Right. You got your go-to now, man.
Yep.
Put that instrumental on and rap your own lyrics, G.
You know, and you see it happening in the street, too. It's not like it's not happening. That's what's so mind-blowing about it is that a lot of these songs are depicting what's taking place.
Definitely.
You know, influencing or, you know, talking about it and how hip-hop has changed, you know, over the years. They had something on Facebook, as a matter of fact, recently where they talked about the de-evolution of hip-hop. I don't know if you saw that. They talked about, like, in the late 70s how hip hop came out. You know, they talked about Curtis Blow, and they went to like Rakim, Run DMC, and now they dealing with Migos and these cats. You know what I'm saying? And what's that one dude's name?
Future.
Yeah, that Percocet
that never should have existed.
The mask on. I mean, it's like this stuff is like mind blowing. Like, how have we come to this?
But you know what though, man? I looked at a T.I. A T.I. interview one time, and me and my girl, we had debates on it about because he said our music has historically been like a reflection of our culture. So if you want our music to change our culture. And I'm like, bro, I feel you, but at the same time, that's some bull, man. It is. Like, bro, you rapping this nonsense, and you not in this hood no more, man. You know what I mean? You not in the hood where they actually taking these shots, where they actually putting these down. I'm like, you over there, you are just making money off of my kid's death, man. Yeah. And I'm like, so for you to sit back and say, well, improve my neighborhood, why don't you? Right. Because I know plenty of people around this neighborhood, from Trey Cop to They Call Me Sauce to Just Be to so many positive people that still are in these circumstances, and they take what they do and they still use it to the greater good effect of
elevate.
Yeah, man, like it's not no excuses. And then you know what's crazy to me too is that I feel that it's not, and this is just my opinion. I feel among youth that they feel like that's what you gotta do to be cool. That's what you gotta listen to be accepted. Yeah. You know, when I was younger, I was on like Jaheim and R. Kelly. That's what I was raised on. Was the old school music and like R&B. Yeah. So that's what I like. But kids used to make fun of me like, bro, you soft. You and your feelings. Like, you a punk because you not listening to shoot 'em up. Right. So, man, you know, I would be driving and I'm listening to Put That Woman First and singing. Yeah. And when I pull up to the stoplight, I immediately switch to T.I. like motivation. You know, like, man. And it's all because I felt like that's what I had to do in order to be accepted. And I'm like, man, you know, at some point in time I had to. I mean, that's what I had noticed. And I'm like, bro, you know what? It don't matter what you think, man. Like.
So when was it when you like made your mind up? Like, look, you gonna accept me for who I am or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did you come to the point like this is who I am? You gonna deal with me or not?
Bro, after that wreck, man. Like, after I had my moment, man. You know what? I was like, cause I was just like, man, I'm done. I done tried so hard to, you know, keep women, and I've tried hard to be accepted by, you know, my father. And by friends and by people that you know, but it still seemed to fail. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they still were out. After I didn't try this hard, at the end of the day, they still like not there. They still leaving you. They still ain't got your best interest at heart. Yeah. So I'm like, man, bro, you might as and my granny always used to tell me like, man, do you? Yeah. Like, man, and it sounds so crazy, but that's how she was. She's still loud. She's still crazy. She still will cuss you out like crazy, and then bless you in the name of Jesus in the next sentence, man. Like I need you to make up your mind, Grams. But but she taught me like, man, you know what? Whether they like you, love you, or hate you, it's you. Right. So, man, you know, nowadays that's the way I live. But like, man, you know what? You can hate the way I dress. Right. I feel comfortable. You know what I mean, bro? Like, you might think my Nikes look ugly. They were $60, and I think they look pretty cool, man. It don't like man. As long as, and I tell people, I use an example in my book that I'm writing, Survivor of the Fatherless. I use an example of when I used to play rugby. I would make a tackle, man, and what I would do is I would look up to see if my mama saw me. Mama, did you see me? Right. Yeah, you saw me. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like. It didn't matter what nobody else would say. Coach would be like, great move, man. Or, hey, man, that's teammates, great move. But if mom's had her head down, I'm like, hey, mama, I need you to see. Right there. Yeah. So, bro, man, I came to that point where I'm like, all that really matters is God's opinion of me and my opinion of me, my man. And matter of fact, God's opinion of me matters more than my opinion because I know I'm unworthy. Right. But if God calls me to something, he like, bro, yes, I know you unworthy. I'm still calling you. Right. Pick up your phone. You know what I mean? So I tell people, I'm like, man, when you look out into that audience I don't care if I go do my speeches and they be like, bro, your speech sucked. bro, if I can come home and God is waiting for me at the door, like, bro, that's what I'm talking about. You did what I told you to do. Right. You did exactly how I told you to do. That's all that matters to me, my man, and I'm okay with that. Right. Man, you suck because you never go out. I'm cool with that too, bro. Like, shoot, I'm alive. I'm breathing well. My 2K person is at a 99, and God is pleased with me. Like, right. So that's all. I mean, you just gotta make sure that you know, you impressing the right people. Everybody ain't worth impressing, man.
That's what's up. What would you say about your generation, as far as people in your age range? What is your assessment of that? The 20-something-year-olds, as far as in Kansas City, because I mean, if you've traveled around, even you just came back from somewhere too, didn't you?
Houston.
Yeah. So man. I mean, what was your experience like in Houston, and then just assessing or your generation? What's your assessment of it?
Houston was fun, man. But the generation that we have now is growing up with Facebook, so it's fun because you get to see people from all over, and without actually ever meeting them or whatever the case may be, you get to see the opinions and the perspectives they come with. And one thing that I think is extremely positive about my generation is I do believe that people are starting to see the need. They are starting to see the need more for education. They are starting to see the need more for being in committed relationships. They're starting to see the need more for doing the positivity and especially as black people. Right. Because people are now being exposed to the injustice that takes place on us. Just last night, like Betty, I forget her last name, the woman that killed the man at his Jeep, she just got off. Right. Like, Tulsa. Just got off. Yeah, Tulsa just got off last night. And I'm like, and I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, people talking about rompers. Right. I'm like, bro, another one of your brothers just got killed out here, and little Betty got a paid vacation. You know what I'm saying? A little smack on the wrist. Man, and she'll probably be out next. Beat. Yeah, talking about I fear for my life. Well, don't be a cop, baby. I don't need my life being taken because you fear for your life. Like, what? So, I mean, but because they see certain stuff like that, I believe that they take notice of that, and they like, you know what? No, we need to change, and this is how we're gonna do it. We may not always agree with it. We may not always be on the same page with it, but me, I'm a bottom line person. What's your bottom line? Are you bottom line trying to change this community for the better? If you're trying to do that, then let's rock. Yeah. And I see that with us, man, and it makes me extremely overjoyed, man, because some of us were let down. I've seen my homie with autism. He just graduated. Shout out to Philip, man. I've seen my friend Ashley, who's out here cheerleading with the Chiefs now, and just graduated with her stuff, man. Like, this generation that I've seen, that I feel like they so focused, they so determined to be successful, my man. And it literally warms my heart to see so many beautiful melanin people out here doing well, man.
That's what's up. So you talked about social media. What role do you see social media playing in this? And I know you talked about, finding this need, but is social media playing a big part in that, do you feel? As far as you said, with your generation is finding the need to be positive, finding the need to be committed, finding the need for these things. And you talked about Facebook and stuff, but like, with just social media and all of its, vast array of different, like, outlets and how you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Do you think that that's a positive thing for this generation?
I think that it definitely comes with its consequences and its rewards, my man. Consequences of time is that people have become junkies. They base their self-worth and self-value off of likes and off of who views a Snapchat and off of all that type of stuff, man. And it's just like, no, baby, you just because you only got 2 likes don't mean you ain't beautiful out here. Right. Just because they didn't come to your page or just like, and it's just, and everybody challenges now. Everybody got to do the challenges, and our kids are more focused on making videos than they are in school sometimes. And I'm like, bro, put that camera down. You out here recording fights so that you can get 100K on Facebook, but none of that is paying. None of that's worth nothing. Right. So you actually sometimes social media creates that chasing the wind look, where they're chasing that fame and popularity that ultimately doesn't amount to anything. You're not getting no type of money. You're not getting no type of paid. All you getting is a stupid, like, you know what I mean? Whoopity-doo. Right. But at the same time, your rewards can come from it as you see, you know, people. I've been noticed off of Facebook, and sometimes people will inbox me like, yo, hey, man, can you come speak at this event? Hey, man, I'm really glad that I met you, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it can also be used for a very positive tool. My picture right now is stop killing each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? It all depends on how you want to use it, my man. Sometimes I battle with so many things are put on that can be negative at times. Sometimes I battle with putting things up as positive because I also don't like to brag. Like I was at Hazel Grove this morning helping with the kids, and part of me was like, maybe I should just spread a little positivity. But the other part of me is kind of like, yeah, but you don't do this to brag. You don't do this for likes, man. You don't do this for nothing, bro. You do this because this is just what you do, man. You love doing this. You love helping. So, I mean, sometimes I battle with that because so many positive things are shown on Facebook, man, and that's how you get a lot of exposure out here too for the positive things and great things that they do.
That is true. So what would you say has been one of the most rewarding experiences you had working with the youth, you know, that you've experienced so far?
Man, one of them is even happening tonight. One of my kids from our group home is graduating. Oh, wow. And, man, I've seen a lot of them come from the graduate. I've seen a lot of kids come and go just very quickly. You know what I mean? Depending on their circumstances and the trauma that they have dealt with. Some of them just need higher levels of care and stuff. To see her come and to stay out of trouble for the most part and to do all these things and then to walk across that stage, it really means a lot to me. Like, and she invited me like, yo, Miss LaVance, I appreciate this. La 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 la. And also, I mean, seeing when I walk into Schlegel now, seeing the respect that I get, because some people think that it's lame. Like, man, you've been graduated for 7 years now, you still walking back into your old school. Now you're making no money for it. You lame, dog. Like, you the old dude now. Right. And I'm like, bro, you'll be surprised by how it makes my day, at least, when the kids come up and like, yo, Vance, can I holler at you real quick? Wow. Can I talk to you about this? Hey, man, can you do this? Can you do this? Wow. Like, man, or can you help me with this? Or, man, I just need your ear. Yeah. You know what I mean? That type of stuff makes... Matter of fact, I just thought of one moment. The proudest moment I ever had came with the football team. And I was speaking to them about how, once again, just, you know, how we need to be better. And I said, you know what, we all gonna pray. And I said, I'm about to pray, and if you don't want to, that's fine. You can leave. Yeah. That's fine, no judgment at you. If you want to pray with me, bro, y'all are more than welcome to come up here and pray with me. And I put my head down, bro. And as I looked up, man, the whole football team there. And they holding hands, man, and they just sitting there. And they holding hands standing up. Heads already bowed, and I'm like, bro, I've never seen a moment of such, like, dang, man, I was like legit blown away. I went out to the car and I just was like, man, God, you crazy, man. I never saw no stuff like that. Wow. The same stomping grounds that I got bullied on, or the same grounds that I raised hell at, I come back and promote heaven at. So, man, that was just a huge for me at that point in time. That's powerful.
You just said something that just, you know, kind of buzzed, and you said bully. That was an experience you had in high school?
Excuse me. Yes, I was ninth grade, man. They had one of them things where they just come up and punch you in your jaw for no reason, man.
Jaw.
Yeah, man. And I was short. I was a short guy, man. I mean, I'm still not, you know, tall. I'm only 5'8" on a good day. 6 foot if you cute. So I'm like, man, at that point in time, I'm maybe 5'3", 5'4".
Wow.
These cats is huge. You know, it's always some people in the class that look like they were just genetically skipped 16 years, man. Like, they just came out the womb with a beard, man. Like, bro, what? Yeah. And at that point in time, I did not know how to keep my mouth shut. So I'm always joking, always talking. And they would just come over, boom. Boom, just hit you straight in your jaw, man. I remember one time, dude hit me so hard in my jaw, man, that like I felt my tooth chip. Like, man, I felt part of my tooth come out. I'm like, man, And I got up to the phone, man. I was about to call my cousin because I'm like, man, y'all do not know me. I didn't put up with enough. My cousin crazy. And fortunately for, I think, everybody, including me and him, was my cousin that just changed his number. You know what I mean? So he didn't know about that. And I never told anybody until I gave my testimony in front of the school. But yeah, I was bullied for the whole year.
You talking about while you were in school?
Yeah. I was bullied the whole year, man. I was horrified of walking to class. When I say I would take the long way to school, and the way that you see, teachers in our district have to be also street smart along with their book smart. You can't be stupid streetwise, because it's easy for a kid to call you over there and fake help with work while these two kids are over here giving somebody else the business. Like, man, they over here, they don't really need help with their homework. Right. They calling you over here so that they can knock this kid out. And I never forget the panic that, used to go through my heart. And I'm sure others' hearts, because it wasn't just me, but I had a lot to do with it at times. It felt like, man, because they would get up and almost like sharks, you would see them get up and start walking around the class. And it's just like we were all fish out here, man. And if they wanted to, it wasn't nothing, because you ain't going to stand up to them. They too big, man. If you do this...
They were your classmates, though?
Yeah, they were classmates, but they were already 6'1", 6'2", man, and, like, huge. And I'm looking at them like, bro, man, if anything ever pop off with this, man...
It's not good.
Oh, man, it's not good for me at all, man. And I can't fight. Wow. And that was part of the time when I was really going through with my dad. Like, man, this is your fault, man. You should have taught me how to fight. You should have been there. And now I'm over here getting beat up because you wanted to be, you know what I mean? Just looking for some form of reasoning of why this is happening. Looking at God like, God,
wow.
You were letting me get destroyed in class, man. Wow. And I was raised on you. Like, what type of God are you that you really about to stand by and let me get eaten alive out here, man? So, man, it was a rough little time in my life.
So what got you through that? I mean, because I'm thinking, like, just recently, of course, last week, they showed that little 8-year-old boy who took his life. 8 years old. I mean, that's mind-boggling. And then to know that, you're going through this regularly. How did you get through that? You know what I'm saying?
Man, you know what, man? It sounds really sad, but, I mean... I dealt with it, and it's sad, man. I just put up with it. The summer hit, and I felt free. Like, the whole school year, I dealt with it. I didn't tell my mama, didn't tell anybody.
That's great. Like, what was the reason for not saying anything?
Man, I knew that if I told, man, I was afraid of what might happen from our safety to other safety, because my family, I believe that they just crazy anybody else.
Right, they hit that switch,
boy. Like, no, man, you did what to my son?
Right,
like, no, man. Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, I like my mama. I don't want her in jail.
Right.
So to just see that.
No teachers, no nothing.
None, man. I mean, I just felt like I didn't have nobody to turn to. And I do believe that for kids that are dealing with bullying, like, no, you can't be silent on that. That's not healthy.
Right.
It's not cool for somebody to legit be picking on you, whether it's cyberbullying, physically, mentally, none of that. It's not okay for people to legit be trying to put you down in any shape, form, or fashion. Right. You gotta let somebody know that you trust. Let security know that these teachers know. Raise all types of everything until you feel safe, man. Like, we all have a right to feel safe out here, man. Like, it's no reason why you can't go to a school and you feel like you're unsafe, man. You just trying to get education.
Right.
But the way I dealt with it, man, it was, like I said, unfortunately, I just sucked it up. Mom said I had to go to the same school next year. Of course, she didn't know. Right. Mom's like, no, I'm not moving you to no Midland. I'm not moving you nowhere else. So, man, I started doing push-ups. Wake up, 100 in the morning, 100 before I go to sleep. 100. Man, next year I got back looking for them boys. Like, got my punching bag over the summer, and I'm like, man, you know what's good. Yeah. I kind of taught myself how to defend myself. That was, the way that I ultimately handled it. Like, hey, man, no, listen. You can't be out here just punking me. But definitely, man, if somebody's out there bullying anybody, man, let somebody know. With the youth that I work with and I mentor, they know that one thing that I don't tolerate, man. Y'all can cuss as much as you want to sometimes, man. You can get into this, get into that, but one thing I will never tolerate is a bully. Right. If I see you picking on somebody, you dealing with me next. Right. You dealing with me first. I'm actually going to move them out. What'd you say? Right. Say it to me. Right. Come on, man. What you got? What you really got? Because it's never been okay and it's not
that's
okay.
That's crazy, man. That's frightening, especially being a parent, you know, thinking that, you know, I asked my oldest son, are you everything cool? I ask him that every week that I see him, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the parent's nightmare. You know
it's
what
a crazy question, but it's a realistic one, though, man. I mean, and especially because some kids do hold it in. You know what I mean? And it's good that, you know, you had that open communication to where they feel like they can tell you and that they, you know what I mean, that they can tell you something going wrong so that you can fix it. Right. Because some people, like I said, they just don't have no outlets. They don't have nobody to turn to, so they just feel like they just gotta take it. It's unfortunate for that 8-year-old. Like, right, man, somebody, I wish that somebody had been there and be like, no, bro, I got you, and they no longer gonna mess with you. Yeah. If I gotta walk you to class, they not gonna mess with you because it is good people out here. People just didn't know. Right. Like, man, my silence was a part of. Wow.
So your peers, none of your peers really knew what you were going through?
Some of them did, but also at the same time, you know, they were also scared too. We were all freshmen. You know what I mean? Maybe if I would have told, you know, maybe one of my senior homies, they would have been like, oh, nah, man, we ain't playing that, man. Yeah, right. I'm not about to let no homie punk them, but pride is crazy. You know what I mean? Pride is like, pride was telling me, you know, you can't tell nobody. Yeah. Because now you look like a punk, and if they punk you, they will too. You know what I mean? You just gotta suck this up right now. And I almost felt like, you know, that this was what I got for being like a fatherless child. Like, bro, this was just one of those. Yeah, this was just one of those cancers from being a fatherless child. Like, you gotta put up with this because you were just. That's what it was, man. So I felt like I had to deal with it, and it was just it was a rough year, man.
I can imagine. That's crazy. Did you ever have any thoughts of like harming yourself or anything? You know, maybe bringing something to school to be like, look, this is it. Y'all ain't gonna do this no more.
Man, not really because of the bullying. I maybe had like one, but it was down the line after an argument with my dad. You know what I mean? But with the bullying stuff, I never really had too many like harming anybody type stuff, man. I was so scared that like I couldn't really think straight. My only goal was to make it to the next day. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, if I can just get out of this class where they are and where this teacher is an idiot.
Right, getting played.
Man, like, what's wrong with you, mom?
Hey! That's crazy, like, bro. Like, I don't want to laugh, but that's
nah, it's cool. Like, if I can just make it through this hour and a half, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, because I know how to avoid you the rest of the day, man. I know, I knew them boys' classes better than they did, man. Sure. Like, nah, man, you should be here at this point in time. I knew they girlfriend scheduling everything where they would be walking them to class. Man, I ain't played, man. Sure.
That's crazy, man. So that message is incorporated into what you're doing now as well?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's incorporated into how I treat my youth, the reason why I work with youth, and also even going into the book that I'm writing about, man. Yeah. All of my life experiences that I've dealt with is being put into that, being illustrated in a way that I hope that, you know, whether you're 6 or whether you 66, it'll be something that you can relate to, understand, and later on and apply to your life, man. Because I just feel like, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, some people say, you know, what they say, God will never put more on you than you can bear. I'll be like, bro, that's a lie, man. Like, if y'all read that scripture the right way, he talking about temptations, man. He said he will never tempt you more than you. Yeah, he will never tempt you more than you can bear. He give you a way out. Yeah. I'm like, but he gives you plenty of things you can't bear. Matter of fact, tell me, what can you bear without God? You know what I mean? Like, what legit can you sit there and say, no, I can bear this without God? Nah, bro, you can't bear none of that. Yeah. So, man, I sit back and I look at that type of stuff and the things that I've dealt with, and I'm like, you've given me this for a reason. And then the way that I'm able to sit down at times and it just comes and it makes sense, and how I'm able to relate it and change lives with it, man, it's just, yeah, it's like God has that crazy way where He can take what felt like a curse and then use it to bless you.
Goodness, that's deep, man. And again, we're here, Hebrew Vision Live with LaVance Meeks, up to good in the hood. He just spoke about something. This is the second time he's mentioned, as a matter of fact, and I let him slide the first time. But you're talking about a book that you're coming out with. I believe you said
Yes, sir.
Survival of the Fatherless.
Yes, sir.
Just give us an idea of what it is. What inspired the idea to come up with a book, and then just the idea behind it.
Man, so we started Survivor of Ministry back in about 2011. Like I had been watching I Am Second videos and I was like, man, I really like it, but nobody knows these people. My people that I grew up with, they don't know them. They don't know Lecrae. They don't know the people that's on here, but they know me. They can see where I came from and who I am now. So what I decided to do is I decided to make a video. I put my video on YouTube. You can YouTube Survivor of the Fatherless and you'll see my story. You'll see and I was going to churches speaking. I was going to churches and schools speaking about my testimony and about how I was once this and how God has helped me become the man that I am today. And people were sitting back like, bro, can you write a book? Can you do a book? Can you do a book? And I'm like, bro, like, no, I'm not a writer, man. I'm a speaker. I don't write, man. I'm not a writer. And God impressed on my heart to do it. And I sat down and literally, bro, the first words I wrote was Survivor of the Fatherless by LaVance Meeks. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? I prayed. Man, I'm up to 126 pages now, man. Oh. And it's been going on for a while, but it's so near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? It's so deep that at times I have to take mental breaks and be like, all right, nah, man, make sure that you cool. And at times God is like, no, you're not writing no more right now. Chill. You'll write when I'm ready for you to write. You know what I mean? Like, man, like, no, it's not. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in now. It needs to be done now. I need to have it now. No, this needs to be done now. And God, like, bruh, sit down somewhere. I told David he was gonna be king in his teenage years, and he wasn't king for a long time. Man, who was that? Man, Joseph. Man, Joseph was supposed to be. He was promised this and that, and had dreams that people was gonna be bowing to him. And he had to go through lying and prison and everything, when he thought that he was going to be cool when he got with Potiphar, next thing you know, he in prison off something he ain't even do. Like, man, you got to realize it, man. Take your time. God ain't late with it. So, man, I've just been sitting back. He just giving me some more inspiration here on the past couple of days, man. Yeah. And, man, I'm so excited to be hopefully ready to release it here soon.
That's dope. That's dope. Much prosperity with that, man. I'm excited for you with that. Want to get it too. Want to get it definitely. That's dope. That is a dope endeavor. That's much prosperity. Well, man, let's wrap up a little bit. What else is on the horizon for LaVance Meeks as far as the book coming? You got that coming. What else do you have that you're looking for to do?
Man, I'm excited, man. There's so many different things that I want to do personally. I mean, from the book, I already have an idea of how I want to get it youth engaged. I already have my long-term goal is to build my own community center that comes with multi things, with libraries, with gyms, with so many things where it's kind of like you can go to anywhere. You know what I mean? And I want to start it right here in Wyandotte County to start off, my man. So it's just, I want to start with the book. I'm going to release apparel with it. I'm going to release hoodies. I'm going to release shirts. I'm going to release whatever, pants or whatever the case you can come with. I'm going to do a book tour along with it where I know people in Alabama and St. Louis and Colorado. I want to go on my little book tour where I can try to spread that message out as much as possible. But, once again, it's just a bunch of things, but it's all centered around just trying to help people. This was never meant to be. I wrote down my goals last night of why I was doing it. And I'm like, why do you do what you do, man? It's like, really, ask yourself that. Nobody else is around here, man. This is just you. And it's like, bro, you doing it to help people. like, bro, if like whether you like it, hate it, or agree with it, I just hope that it helps somebody. You know what I mean? And if it helps one person, but a million thought it sucked, bro, I'm glad that it helped that one.
Job, yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, you know, I just want to continue to do that. And the avenues that I'm going to be taking is going to be extremely fun to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I tell people the moves that God had you make, they don't have to make sense to them. You know what I mean? Right. Some people be like, bro, that don't make sense, man. Why would you do that? Like, you need to do that. That's not logical. And I'm be like, bro, what is logical when it comes to God sometimes, man? I mean, sometimes he just tell you to do something. You got to rock with it. He took somebody that was a bitter punk, like, no good, boom, and he didn't turn him into somebody that's really out here trying to change the community and try to make a difference in this world, man. So, man, we have multiple things up on the horizon, man.
That's dope. That's dope. What positive word would you leave for any youth or anybody listening right now? What would be your message for 2017?
Man, you know what my message would be is my motto for 2017 is just the beginning. Like last year, my motto was "It's not over." Come from the scripture of Mark 5:36, man, and it just talks about how the man, his daughter died, and Jesus was like, "Man, don't be afraid, just believe." And I asked the question, I'm like, why did he say, "Don't be afraid, just believe"? And he's like, because he knows that it's not over till he says it's over. God knows, like, until I say that situation is done, it's not over nearly just yet, bro. Yeah, your situation may look dead. It may not look good. It may look horrible. But if God is still involved in that, and if God is still in the midst of that, you never know. That might be right where he needs it to be in order for you to blow up on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So all I would leave with people is it's not over. It's just the beginning, man. Like, it's just the beginning. Start now. What do you need to do now in order to make that change that you've been waiting for, that you've been striving for, that God is trying to get you to? You know what I mean? What vision has he's giving you? What change do you see in these neighborhoods that you can literally go out and say now? These schools here, they're ending soon. Over the summer, ask these principals, how can I help you? What do you need from me? Ask these kindergarten teachers if you can come in and help them with just a helping hand. You know what I mean? Ask these sports teams if they need anything to go along with what they can do. Use them God-given abilities that God has blessed you with in order to help these people out here, man. And remember, like I said, it's just only the beginning. Enjoy that ride, man. It ain't always easy, but man, it's fun, man. It's worth it, and it's fun, man. Like I just enjoy doing it, man.
Definitely. So how could people get in contact with LaVance Meeks if somebody wants to, get you from here to, let's say, Chicago? How would they get in contact with you?
Man, you can find me on Facebook, LaVance Meeks Jr. My email address is lmeeks10@gmail.com, man, and I'll be more than glad to, be able to talk with you if we need to exchange numbers or anything like that. We can do that, but man, I'm always willing to help out, man. I love even trap. I've been to St. Louis, Alabama, and Texas, and places like that, trying to help out different organizations that have asked me to come out. So, man, those are the different ways that you can get a hold of me, man. I would love to come out and support anything that people have.
No doubt. You been balling, man? You been hooping lately?
Not at all, man. I gotta kill you. I'm done. Boy, I tore that ACL, man. I was like, bro, I'm done for it, man. Sure, I'm too old for this.
I've been there.
Nah, I'm too old for this one, man. Sure.
So you just working out and stuff?
Yeah, man, just working out. Keep me out of trouble. Keep you tired, man. Show that, just make you look good for the summer a little bit better.
Right. Get that summer flex on.
Exactly, man.
That's what's good, man. That's what's good. So, man, I want to thank you for your time. It's been definitely a wonderful conversation, insightful, man, and just pray that the Most High continue to use you, to touch these lives out here in these streets, because our people need it. You know what I'm saying? For real, man. Because KCK, it's a little jungle in its own right. You know what I'm saying? We just got to, touch one person at a time, like you said, man. So, yeah, keep that up, brother.
Definitely appreciate it, my man.
No doubt. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You all listening to Hebrew Vision Live here, Up to Good in the Hood with LaVance Meeks. We going to go ahead and end it the way we began it with our track. So tune in to us next week. We're gonna have, another interview next week, and gonna keep it moving. And 6 p.m. every Thursday here at Spreaker.com on Hebrew Vision. I want to thank you all for tuning in here with LaVance Meeks, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. Peace and blessings.